Riders, welcome back to Sam's Bikes, where you know we only talk e-bikes. And today is the 6 months review on the Canyon StriveOn Dream Build, this 12,000 euro beast. We are going to review the bike and every component. So let's get into it. Okay, legend riders, I want to welcome Haman to the channel.
Thanks, Sam.
Thanks for your time. And over the last 6 months, we have been putting the Dream Build, the Canyon StriveOn 12,000 euro Dream Build to the absolute test. And in this review, we are going to review the bike and all the components. And just, you know, like these components for me were some of the most interesting ones that, you know, we don't often get the opportunity to test individually. So that's what the review is. And before we crack on with that, a massive shout out to Quadlock, the long-term sponsor at Sam's Bikes. I absolutely love having my Quadlock on my handlebars, at my home office, and in the camper van. Absolute game changers. And riders, the legends at Quadlock are giving new legends a 10% discount, link in the show notes. Now, it would be quite obvious to start with Quadlock. So what we're gonna do is, I'm gonna ask Haman's opinion, then I'm gonna chime in, and then we'll move on. So first off, what do you think of the Quadlock, which the actual mount is 39.99 euros retail, and I think the case is about 20. So overall about 60 euros. How did you find it?
Well, my first thought was this device was not robust enough, but after using that, I realized that it's a good device to hold my phones. I need to have my phone always on the bars in order to see if I have any kind of urgent call and so on. And yeah, I realized it's a good device. I recommend it.
So I've been using it for 2 years. Obviously, Quadlock's a major sponsor of the channel. I was, and Haman was as well, a little bit skeptical of putting our expensive phones on the handlebars. But in 2 years, I've had zero problems. You had zero problems. So definitely recommend that product. Now, we're going on to the big ticket item, the Canyon StriveOn, which retailed at the time for 5,999 euros with the 750 watt hour battery. Give me the cliff notes. How did you find it? Enduro riding, trail riding, the overall feeling of the bike?
Honestly, it was a nice surprise to me. I was riding on other brands, but when I tested this one, I realized the bike is really well done. The geometry is so nice, and I felt my first ride was really good. I mean, I felt really comfortable. And yes, it was a good surprise for me.
Yeah, nice, nice. And I'll chime in. So I did my first test. I spent like 2 weeks on the Canyon Strive when it just came out. I was blown away by this bike. Like it's 170, 160, but I reckon it rides more like a trail bike. It doesn't, you don't feel like like it doesn't feel like a sluggish enduro bike. But then it has your back on the bigger drops.
Exactly.
Any negatives?
Not really. It's a really well balanced bike. I mean, it behaves really good on the trails. As a trail bike, it behaves really good. As an enduro bike, it behaves really good. So really happy with that.
My only, I mean, I get to ride everything and I'm super lucky. I think this and the Levo are the best bikes on the market at the moment. The best bikes I've ridden for how I like to ride. I would say if I was making this bike or I gave a bit of advice to Canyon, the engineers, there's enough room to make it a 29er. There's a lot of room in there to make it a 29er. I'd love to see a flip chip and make it 29 compatible, because a lot of riders out there do want it 20. Like, even though we might not use it, I think it is better as a mullet. It's nice to have the option. Okay, on to the custom paint job, the fluorescent pink, done from Uves bikes in Madrid. And riders, we do have a 20% discount code in the show notes for 500 euros. Taking it there, getting the bike completely stripped down, rebuilt, painted, rebuilt. What do you think the end look is like?
Well, first of all, the colors, I love it. And second, I can see the work they did in the shop. It was really nice. The details and everything was good. And also the quality of the paint was really good. So no scratches, we wrapped it and yeah.
I think, I mean, we live in Spain, but David does work in the whole of Europe. I think for 500 euros, it's very good value. And I love the color. Shout out to Tacky Seagrave, who just won the World Cup last weekend, her first one in 3 years or 2 years. It was inspired by Tacky. I absolutely love it. It's got to be my best custom bike I've built, definitely. Going on to the Schwalbe Tack Chans, which will set you back 110 euros recommended retail for the pair. What do we think?
really good impression. I mean, I was riding Magic Mary and Big Berries, and this one is like a mixture of both tires.
Yeah.
They roll very good, and I feel really confident on the corners. So, yeah, I recommend those tires.
How would you compare them to a Magic Mary on the
Well,
front?
On the front, obviously this one rolls better. Maybe Magic Mary has a little bit more of grip, but in the corners you can feel this one rolls better. I don't know how to explain it, but it's
Yeah.
different behavior. I
Yeah.
recommend it.
So Schwalbe released the Tacky Chan, I reckon about a year ago, and I've been solely on Tacky Chans for a year. And before that, I was solely on Magic Mary's front and back. Definitely the 2.4 Ultra Soft on the front is thinner than the 2.4 Magic Mary. It just seems a little bit thinner. They definitely roll faster. I found it when I first went to it a little bit more vague going into corners, but I think it's because you go in faster, because
Maybe.
they have less rolling resistance. But I'm going to say for a full powered electric mountain bike, my setup at the moment is a Magic Mary on the front and Tacky Chan on the back. And if I was racing and it was like a clean track that was fast, I'd go Tacky Chan's front and back. Definitely, I rate them. I reckon there's a little bit more traction in a Magic Mary, just a little bit. But in return, you get slower rolling resistance. Okay, so now onto the Crankbrothers Stamp 1. What did you think of them?
Yeah, I think they are good for the price. I mean, I felt really comfortable on them. My feet were really stable on them. Maybe the grip will be better with Crankbrothers shoes.
Yeah.
But yeah, for the value, I think they are. It's a good option.
I mean, they're an entry-level pedal at 40 euros. I think they're great. They're like a plastic composite or something. They're not metal. They're super light. You were riding the small pedals at the start, and then you went to the large. Which did you like better, the small or the large?
Well, I have big feet, so I think I need the big ones.
The
because
big ones.
The small ones are not for my feet. I felt more comfortable. I don't know how to describe it, but I think the big ones are mine.
Yeah, I tried the small ones as well, and I reached out to ask Crankbrothers what they recommended, and they said anyone smaller than a 43 should go for the small pedal, and anyone bigger than the 43 or 43 and bigger should go to the large. I definitely prefer the large. Okay, now onto the TRP DH-R EVO brakes with 220 rotors front and back, and that's going to set you back around 440 euros. Take it away, what'd you think?
Well, they are so nice,
Yeah.
honestly. They work very well. The feeling is so nice. You've noticed the control of every brake you do. Honestly, it's a very good option if you like powerful brakes and also progressive brakes.
Yep.
They are so different what I tested before, and honestly, I think it's a very good option.
So I had TRPs on my dream build, on the Specialized and on the Canyon. On the Levo, I did have a little bit of problem with like arm pump, and I think I had a bit of contamination on the brake pads, but on this one I didn't have any problem with that. I love the lever. The lever for me is like the best lever on the market. Super big, feels like moto style, and the look of the brakes, they look awesome. Yeah, I definitely really like these brakes. I'd say they're kind of a little bit like Shimano on off, but they do have a bit more modulation.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So onto the TRP EVO 12 speed cassette, chain and derailleur. It's going to set you back about 800 euros.
I think they are good. I felt really robust gears. They are so smooth. Also, you have the option to change one by one gear, all 3x3. So depending the case, if you are climbing, for example, you can choose the option of 1x1. But if you are just riding, you select the 3x3 change. And yeah, really robust, smooth at the moment. No problems with that.
Okay, so for me, I'm not going to be as kind. I found the actual remote here quite big and a little bit not comfortable. My thumb kind of got stuck in between the buttons. Didn't like that much. And the price at 800 euros, I'm probably just going to go a SRAM, like a SRAM GX. Like I think it's a good shot. Like TRP, I think it's their first crack at a derailleur. I think they've nailed the brakes, but I don't think the gears are there yet. Okay, now on to the Forx 155 cranks, which are going to set you back 300 euros. The riders are always looking out for you. 25% discount code in the show notes. Take it away. How'd you get on?
Really happy with them. I like so much. I love them. actually.
Yeah.
Also the size, so good. 155 for me is the perfect size. 160 maybe too much, 150 maybe too short for an e-bike, and for my style of riding, I think is the best ones you can buy it.
For me, beautiful looking cranks. You also get that warm, fuzzy feeling. You're supporting a rider. This guy's from New Zealand, putting out amazing cranks. I believe you can get them now for Shimano, Bosch, Bros, Yamaha, and also the specialized 1.2 motor, 1.1. I love them. I love the look of them. They're super stiff. My only complaint would be, because of the aluminium they use, it's super strong, super stiff. When you put the pedals in, they can be a bit stiff going in. So you need to be patient, be careful you don't strip it. Or it kind of doesn't feel like you're stripping it, but it's definitely a tighter fit than a normal crank. But once you know that, it's fine. Definitely, I love them. I think they're amazing. Now, on to the absolute black chainring and spider, which is going to set you back about 300 euros.
Honestly, I didn't feel any difference between this one and a normal one, but I'm sure if you are a fancy guy that you love the best and you need any robust and light ring, that's a good option.
For me, it's pretty much just a bit of bling. It's pretty, maybe like a stem. Oh, maybe, no, different to a stem. I didn't notice any difference. I think it's beautiful, definitely not necessary. Okay, now to the Bosch Race Motor, which you can't buy. You can only get it in the top spec models, but Bosch were lovely enough to send it out for this dream build. How'd you find it?
I love it. I think it's the best motor I've ever tried. Honestly, it works pretty good, so powerful. Maybe the connectivity can be improved. If you want to see on your Garmin or whatever display you use, there can be more parameters. But yes, a motor is very good. So and also with this battery, it's a long-lasting option. I mean, you can ride harder, you can climb a lot of vertical meters, and the battery is gonna be always there for you.
Yeah, for sure. I did the extreme range test on this. You would think having a lot of power and how it delivers that power, it would chew the battery. But no, the range is really good on this. I love the motor and the feeling. It's got so much power. Riders that are not the best technical climbers, be careful, can teach you a lesson. I'm also going to say the motor isn't the most relaxing motor to ride on.
No.
It's quite noisy. It's quite like jerky, kind of on off, like lots of power. And there is a bit of a clunk, so it's not the most relaxing motor, but definitely one of the most fun motors.
Yes, for sure.
You feel like you're kind of a bit on a motorbike. As I said, the autonomy was great. Did like 1,600 meters of vert. There was on the forums people complaining about breaking the latch of the battery connection. We had no problems with that. I had a test bike for 2 weeks, the Fabian Burrell one, the top spec, and we've had this for 6 months, no problems. But I am going to say we did break 2 remotes and 1 motor cover, and I definitely think the remote needs to be improved. And the motor cover, was that unlucky? Maybe, but it was pretty easy fix. And anyone that rides hard has this bike, I would recommend ordering a spare.
Yes.
Fox 38, we bought them on sale for $750. What do you reckon?
The best one.
Yeah.
The best one, honestly. I always got this fork on my bikes. I used to them. Honestly, the setup for me is very comfortable. Yeah, for me the best. Just all.
Yeah, for me, so I've tested mainly Zebs and 38s. I think I prefer a 38. But also, I'm going to say, riders, I think we're in the moment of, we have fast fashion, we also have fast technology. Fox have just released the new dampener, and Rockshox have just released the new dampener. I'm going to say, how much better can they get? Like, this is pretty amazing. I will be trying the new Fox forks, and I'll let you know. I'll do a comparison, but I think these are pretty spot on already.
Yes.
Okay, now onto the Rockshox Vivid Air Ultimate, which is relatively new, maybe like 6 months old. It's going to set you back 700 euros. What do you think?
Really surprised. I think it's a pretty good option. I think it's probably better than the Forx X2. Easy to set up, easy to configure. Honestly, if you are an air fan, just go for it.
Yeah, I was super impressed with this shock. I'm not going to say it's coil-like, but it's probably the most similar air shock that feels like coil. Also, I do love the X2, but over the last couple of years, I have had quite a lot of problems with the X2. It is a shock that needs a lot of maintenance. We've done, I don't know, like 700 Ks on this. We haven't had any problems. I'd like to see in a year's time if it needs more maintenance, if it blows up, you know. But overall, I think it's fantastic. I really like the hydraulic bottom out as well. I think it's a more tunable shock than the X2.
And easier to set up.
And easier to set up, exactly. And then are the Hunt wheels, which are going to set you back 600 euros. What do you think?
They are good. I like them. They roll good. They feel robust. No issues at all.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, I tried to break them. You know, like I smashed some hard trails on it. I tried to dent them. These are completely clean, no dents. For a budget-ish wheel at 600 euros, you've really only got two options, now three. You've got DT Swiss or Hope with DT Swiss rims or these. So I think they're definitely a player in the budget wheel market. I was impressed.
Absolutely.
Now, Ergon e-mountain bike sports seat, 75 euros.
Ergon is the only brand I use for seats.
Yeah.
Really comfortable, no issues at all, no cracks, no strange zones.
I love the seat because it's got a little lip here, and when you're like climbing steep stuff, sometimes you can fall off the back of the seat. I think this is the best e-bike seat on the market. Let's go on to the OneUp Dropper version 3, which is with the remote, it's going to set you back about 350.
Well, at the moment, no problems with them. A good option, it works good. A good option if you want to buy an alternative brand. Yeah, not very new, not very known, I think, but yeah, I think it's good.
I think for me, it's good, possibly a little bit slow.
Maybe,
like the returning is a little bit slow, possibly, but it's a good budget-ish option.
Yeah, for sure.
So now to the OneUp Carbon ebar, which is going to set you back 189 euros. What do you reckon?
Well, these bars are the best, in my opinion. This is carbon bars, but behaves like aluminum bars. You know, for me, carbon bars are so rigid, so all the vibrations from the ground are transmitted to your arms, to your elbow. But with these ones, you feel the stiffness of a carbon bar and the flexibility of aluminum bars. So for me, the best one. Actually, I'm gonna keep them. For the future.
We'll give them to you, mate. We'll give them to you. So for me, like about 18 months ago, I had a podcast with Drew from the Lone Wolf. Shout out to him, absolute legend. And I asked him what is the best product he's tested over the last year for e-bikes. And I was expecting him to say tires or brakes or something like that. But he said the OneUp bars. And he said exactly what you said. So I've always wanted to try them. And on this dream build, I've tried them. And I'm blown away. Like I didn't think, so yeah, what you were saying is the compliance of an aluminium bar, but the lightness of carbon, but also I think it's a little bit more than that. So you have, when you turn, the steering is stiffer, so it's more direct. You don't get that little bit of bend. You don't get that little bit of flex when you're turning, but then you have the compliance of the up and down when you're going downhill. Absolutely amazing handlebars, definitely recommend them. Now onto the OneUp Stem in a 42mm, 99 euros.
Well, good stem, no problems at all with them. Yeah, good option. It's a good design.
If you're looking for a 42mm stem, which I was looking for because I like a 40 and I like a 50. And I think a 50 puts your weight over the front a bit more. You get more traction, but also it kind of like speeds up your steering. So I actually really like a 42. I was looking for a 42, but you know, a stem is a stem.
Yeah.
You know, at the end of the day, a stem's a stem. And now to the OneUp Everyday Care Tool version 2, which is going to set you back 124 euros. What do you think?
Well, not bad. Very useful tool for your daily rides. In compare with other systems on the market, maybe this one is a little bit big, but not bad. Honestly, it makes its function.
Yeah, for me, I'm going to say it's good. I think you can definitely fit a lot of tools in there. I found taking it in and out a little bit slow, a little bit fiddly, a little bit sticky, like it doesn't come out too easily. I think the Specialized SWAT is better. It's a better system. And now onto the DMR Deathgrips in a thick and soft compound, which is going to set you back about 20 euros.
Probably the best ones I've tested. I feel really confident, really reliable. The flange makes you to have your hands in the good position, in the proper position. Also, they have some holes here that allows you to have your fingers in the good position. So perfect grips for the price. I think it's the best option.
Yeah, for me, it's a real surprise. Like DMR, they make like components and bikes. And for them to take on ODI and the big brands, because before you were using Ergon grips, I think.
I think so,
Yeah. And I got you to try the Deathgrips. I think they are the best grips on the market.
Yes.
I find it hard to ride a bike without Deathgrips. And they don't sponsor me, but they should. They definitely should. Now onto the titanium works kit bolts from Better Bolts, which is going to set you back around 254 euros for a complete bike. What do you think? Worth it?
Yes, they're stronger, obviously.
Yep.
If you don't realize you have bolts, that means that they perform their mission. So, yeah.
For me, I didn't think about it until we were just talking then before we shot this. I didn't think about them being stronger. I knew they'd be lighter, but I didn't think they'd be stronger. And they are definitely pretty. Necessary upgrade? I'm going to say probably not, but I mean, they are beautiful and they're lighter and they're stronger. So probably a good upgrade.
Yeah.
Okay, lucky last, the tailor-made protection kit from Ride Wrap for the forks and the frame, which is going to set you back around 200 euros. What do you think?
I think wrapping your bike is a must. If you want to protect the paint, you want to protect the bike, you have to do it. I mean, sometimes it takes longer than you want to install it, but once you remove it, you have a new bike inside. So.
Yeah, for me, there's no way we were going to custom paint this bike and not wrap it. No way. So much work went into it. I definitely think after I've just sold a bike and I didn't wrap it, and it was very difficult to sell because the frame was chipped and damaged. 100% from now on, I'm wrapping all my bikes. Definitely recommend it. You know, like Bayer and I do it, it does take us about half a day to do it properly, probably like 3 or 4 hours. But you can take it to your bike shop and it will cost whatever your labor is. It might cost you 100 euros or 150 if you're in Australia to get it wrapped. If you're someone that's time poor, I would recommend taking it to a bike shop and getting it done because it's fiddly. It's definitely fiddly. Okay, so there we go, riders. And we are going to pick now, if you could only do one upgrade on this bike, what would it be?
I think I would choose the motor.
The Bosch Race Motor?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
I think it's the best thing of this bike.
If it's me, I'm going to go the frame and the custom paint job because I reckon the Strive is a fantastic bike, so much fun. And with Tanny Seagrave, like custom pink and grey, man, I absolutely love this beast. It's a beautiful bike. Anyway, riders, thanks for watching. And Haman, thanks for your time.
Thanks to you.
And riders,
don't forget to subscribe.
Don't forget to subscribe. And riders, give Haman a big shout out in the comments because it is his second language and he does a fantastic job. And he really knows his stuff. And I really appreciate your time. So, riders, put any comments you need. You stay safe out there and we are going to see you next week.